Jeremy, what is your mission and what are you trying to achieve at this stage in your life?
I'm trying to achieve more time with my children, but while also having I'd like to say powerful, but it's not powerful, while also having a successful building company that really nurtures young men in this industry.
I might just get that mic a bit closer. We're not.
We're going to go again?
No, that's all good. We're started, man. No editing now, baby. We're I don't know what's going on.
No going back.
Yeah, that's perfect. That'll sound good. So that paints the picture. So you own you're one of my clients. For the people that don't know, you run a very successful and fast growing building company. Talk to me about the early days of that and how that all came into fruition, how that all started.
So I left school, I finished my year 12. I knew that I couldn't sit behind a desk or a computer for another 10 seconds of my life. I actually finished my last HSC exam and I finished about 1 o'clock and I started my apprenticeship at 2 o'clock.
Wow.
So I just knew that I was just ready to get out of school, get my hands dirty, finished my apprenticeship. I did the last probably 2 years of my apprenticeship with a man that I just hated. You know, like every morning I'd get up, we'd go to site, him and the clients would be bickering about nothing really, you know, just building. And I just knew that, man, I want something like this. I want a building company, but I want it to be totally different. Yeah. So then, what was the question?
Basically the early days, like how did you start Jedabuild? Yeah.
The day that I finished my apprenticeship, I was so over this bloke that the day after he was like, oh, you're coming back to work? And I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm going to start my own company up until that point. And on the last day, he's like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I said, mate, I'm going for it. You know, I'm jumping out of this boat. I'm starting my own thing. So the first day I just went, had a few little small jobs, you know, hanging doors for people. And then Jedabuild has just grown from there.
Yeah, wow. What was, at the time, your boss, what was his reaction when you said, I'm going for it?
He was shocked. You know, I don't think many guys finish their apprenticeship and then start their own thing the next day. I'd been learning, you know, like you see me, I've been taking notes of everything that he'd done. He'd done it right, he'd done it wrong. I was just mentally taking note of that. Had a little diary that I'd note down, you know, like he did it this way. This is how I want to do it. And I think that you see quite a difference in my company.
For sure. You picked up on what not to do.
What not to do,
yeah. And then you implemented into what to do. And yeah, I mean, that shows, I mean, what you're building and just your environment you create, the people that are working for you as well, I think is, you know, something to be really proud of. I think all your lovely people that work a part of Jedabuild, it's not, you know, just go to work, you know, it's this environment where they feel a part of something. And I think that just says a lot about you as a leader, and we'll talk more about leadership later on. When you left high school or finished your HSC, how did you know I want to get into construction, I want to get into the building industry? So
I did, I think they called it TVET back in the day. And when you're in year 11 and 12, you could do a trade. And you'd go, oh man, I think you'd go 1 day a week. Yeah, you'd go 1 day a week while you're doing year 11 and 12. And I was doing electrical at the time. I don't know, I just didn't really grab electrical. There wasn't enough there for me. I'm not saying that it's a bad trade. I'm just saying that it didn't captivate me. But I knew that I couldn't go to uni. School wasn't for me. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I don't think I could sit still enough to get through another 4, 5, 10 years of study. Study just wasn't for you, full stop. Nah, my mum's a teacher and study wasn't for me.
It's funny, that juxtaposition. Right, so that's really good. I want to talk about, there's a lot of young listeners that listen to this. You know, they might have just finished school, or they're in their last few years of school, or, you know, they're in their young early 20s. And I always want this podcast to give value to those people.
For sure.
Because I feel like being so young, you know, especially nowadays with social media, we're shown so much and what we can achieve and stuff like that. And it's always good to just hear from older people that have been there and that have done it. So what's your advice to someone who is young, or just anyone in general that is looking to kind of find a bit of purpose? How do they find that? How do they, you know, gravitate towards something that brings them fulfillment?
Yeah, I think they've got to answer that for themselves. You know, like we live in a society that's just so narrow and so streamlined. And these kids, they need to go out and they need to experience like, hey, maybe I like electrical, or maybe I like being a doctor. That you've got to find how to find what you want to do. Don't just get pushed. You know, if you you started videography.
Yep.
How did you know that you want to do videography?
Yeah, well, I told you this recently. Like, I was just so obsessed with creating. And we, when I was like 15, 16, I bought my first camera, and I would make these funny like travel lifestyle kind of videos and stuff, and with my drone and stuff. And that just brought a spark in me. And then when I finished my HSC, I knew that I wanted to chase that and not go away from it. So I think that's probably my advice.
Yeah. So in this life, work is either a hassle to you. No, you turn up every day hating the job. So my advice to these young people would find something that you really like. Don't get pushed to just do this for the sake of doing it. Really investigate what makes you tick. I don't love coming to work every day. I try and make the most of it, but we're slaves from birth in this life, right? It's all about money. So try and find something that gives you I'm very passionate about what I do. I think you see that. I'm very passionate, not just about what I do, but the people that I choose to create a culture with. So you might not be the most passionate about videography. But you could have some passion of videography and then create a culture there, and then that's your drive for life.
Yeah, very true. I like that answer. Talk to me about the early days of JedaBuild. You briefly mentioned it earlier, but I really want the knit and grit, the startup.
So
how that happened.
The early days of JedaBuild. So JedaBuild is actually Jeremy and Dan. I had a mate that we went through carpentry TAFE, that I went through carpentry TAFE with. We were both carpenters, and we were doing like every second job together until it got to a point that the jobs were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We'd both done our Cert 4 in building. Yeah. So we could both get our builder's license. And we just said, nah, like, you got to be a team. It's a hard industry, you know, to be a builder on yourself. It's tolling. So we just found that doing jobs together, sharing the paperwork, it was actually Dan's dad that came up with JedaBuild, the name. And then we just combined our passion, combined the workload, and rolled from there.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I think that's kind of what.
But I'm solo now.
Yeah.
But I got a good team,
Yeah. No, that's What was that partnership? What's the biggest thing that taught you at that time? Working with someone else.
To document everything, in this life, you can trust people, but there's a point where that you need to have everything documented for when there is a separation. Dan was very good to me, and he let me keep the name, but you just need to have everything documented from day one, and an even workload. Like, that's the hardest thing about any partnership, marriage, whatever it is. The hardest thing about any partnership is an equal workload. If you're going to go partners 3 ways, you're all in an individual person, but you all need to put in the same effort.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. If you could do one thing differently about your startup, what would you do differently?
If I could do one thing differently about my startup.
Because hindsight's like a powerful thing, right? Not that you can change the past, but it's always great to hear a mature weathered answer when you've been through it and you look back and you reflect, and then you go, if hypothetically,
if I could do anything different, man, I would just systemize everything from the very second. We kind of hit the ground running. We're 2 keen, motivated young guys, and we just dove into everything. If I could go back, I would slow it down. Like what I always say this to you. Slow it down, get that system in place, and then implement it. Don't just take on 100 jobs. You've got to grow slowly. And if you grow slowly, then everything you do is going to be perfect.
That's very true. How do you create that system though?
How do I create a system now? So something will arise, something that we've never seen before, and I'll sit down and I'll think, how do I tackle this? Like I've said to you many times, I'm a yes man. Where now I'll think, all right, I've got to do this. But what have I got to put in place before we do that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would have changed over the years, I'm sure, from hungry, you know, young 20-year-olds starting out, saying yes to everything. I'll do it for whatever, you know, just want to get this off the ground.
Yeah, I just wanted to beat the other dude for a quote back then, 100%, you know?
Yeah. And then now you're scaling. So it's like, well, I've got people to, you know, give money. Like I have employees, like I have a certain amount of money that I need to make, you know, to keep. So if that's not getting me there, if that's not improving the business, well, yeah, you know, what's the point? Yeah, no, I really like that. To all the young tradies out there, the young carpenters, the young chippies, looking to maybe go out on their own, take that leap. What's your advice to them?
That we're all carpenters, we're all builders, we're all plumbers, but deep down it's marketing. You know, you are a salesman. And no TAFE, no builder's license, none of that teaches that you are a salesman. So whenever the first interaction that you might have with a customer, or even you might have an interaction with an old lady at the supermarket, it's got to be a positive one. Yeah. And my advice to these young tradies would be that, you know, you're going to be running 5 minutes late, or you're not going to get a quote back to somebody. Just that communication, that's going to win you the job.
Nurture that relationship.
You've read my mission statement. You've read Jedabuild's mission statement. It's all about the culture in the company and then the relationship with the client. Yeah. So you are not, unfortunately, like, hey, TAFE, New South Wales, maybe you want to put sales in your carpentry. But if you're going to go out on your own, you are a salesman. Sell yourself. Be true to yourself. If it's going to come out in the end, like if you're halfway through a job, it might be going all perfect, right?
Yeah.
But then you're going to have to be true to yourself. And if you're an angry little bugger, it will come out. Yeah. So you better show that at the start. Yeah.
I like that advice. That's so good. It's such a different kind of topic for, I think, your industry as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people go in and then they realize, oh shit, like I need these skills in order to scale, improve my business.
You won't win one job. You might win this friend's job or your relative's job, but you've got to sell yourself to win anything else other than that.
Yeah, 100%. What does that look like? How do you sell yourself?
How do I sell myself?
Just in general. I'd like to just paint the picture to the audience, like if there is that young, hungry chippy out there that wants to go out on their own, and they're probably wondering, how do I do that? What does that look like?
You turn up on time, you communicate well, you give them, like you've gone out on your own, you've got at least 4 years of experience, right? You turn up to this quote, you give whoever it is, whether they're happy, angry, sad, you give them the best advice that you have because it's somewhat professional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you listen to every one of their thoughts. The boss that I spoke about earlier, the client would be on site and he'd be telling the client how we're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, we're building it this way. No, I want to listen to it. What's your expectation? Yeah. Oh, no, with my limited experience or a lot of experience, you know, this is how I would do it. It's just food for thought. And then once you've attended that site meeting, it's all about communication. Yeah. We all unfortunately live very busy lives. And it's from the point that you leave the quote, you're still a salesman until you've presented that quote, you know? And then if you win that quote, you've still got to be a salesman. You've got to provide them good communication, book the job in, you know, have everything organized for that job. Yeah. Yeah.
What's it does like turnaround time in terms of getting the quote back? Does that matter, do you reckon?
100%.
Yeah.
We used to be, I won't mention their name, but we used to be a kitchen builders, a kitchen company's builder in Newcastle, and they will present the quote on the spot. Right?
Wow.
Because all their years of research have shown that if you present it and you try and get them to sign it on the day, that you're much higher chance of securing that job. Where we are, you know, like if you're doing a $5,000 to $10,000 job and you don't have kids at home, you could present that quote in an hour. Yeah. So when I go to a quote where I am now, I try and give these customers, these clients, a time frame when I'll have that quote back to them. I'm sorry to a few clients right now because it's a very busy time of the year, but I will say to them, hey, I think that I can have this back to you on this date.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for all you young fellas, the sooner that you get the quote back, like if you're the first quote that they have back, like you're the benchmark. You are setting the benchmark. You know, if you are 2 weeks late and they've been waiting for you, you're leaving a sour taste in their mouth.
Definitely.
Why would they even be considering you if you're a few $100s more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you handle that price objection too? Because I'm sure you've sent a few
price objection.
Like you sent out a quote and then people are saying, "Oh, I thought it would be cheaper."
Oh, it's all the time. You know,
so how do you handle that? Because I'm sure that would be very prevalent in what you do.
Huge. Yeah, huge. I then offer, I say, I'm happy to sit down with you and show you what things cost, where I got that price from. Because, man, there's been hundreds of times that I've turned up and Joe Bloggs thinks that a deck is $5,000 and the materials are $10,000.
Yeah. Especially post-COVID, right?
Post-COVID, yeah.
Yeah. I remember in Bunnings days working in the timber yard and having that timber shortage.
Yep.
And like all the trades were
fighting over it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And Bunnings were fighting me for not wearing a mask.
Yeah. Yeah, I was probably the one telling you to put a mask on. Yeah. Talk to me now about scaling JedaBuild. So you've gone out on your own. Well, like you've gone out on your own, you've parted ways with your at the time your business partner.
Yep.
And now it's just Jeremy and JedaBuild, and you're scaling.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, it's hard to build anything by yourself.
Yeah.
So when I had enough work, I put on an apprentice. Yeah. And then as the work would roll in, I would kind of assess, we can get this done in a week. But when it got to like I couldn't get work done within like if somebody came to me and said, I want to build this, when can you do it? And I was telling them 3 to 6 months. That's when I kind of had the spark like, nah, I've got to get through this quicker. So then I put on after the apprentice, I put on my first carpenter. Yeah. And then you put on that carpenter and you realize that, man, there's a bit more office work involved in this. Thankfully, this is pre-kids for me. So you can do it like yourself, you know, you can edit it at 10 p.m. at night if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can still do work at 10 p.m. at night, but I'm pretty tired by then.
It's not ideal.
Yeah. And then you've got the second carpenter on, and then you're trying to manage how much office work you're doing and are you as productive on site. Once you get to a point that you're doing more office work than you're being on site for, that's the time that you would need the second or the third bloke. Yeah. I was in Sydney for 2015 I was in Sydney for 3 years. And I scaled up to about 6 blokes, you know, 3 carpenters, 3 apprentices and myself. And we were doing a good job. We were really busy. So I would say scale slow, but you've got to have that consistent work to be able to scale up.
Yeah, grow. What's your biggest advice to people looking to scale, just in business in general? Because you've made a lot of hires and stuff like that. So I feel like your advice, you're seasoned, you know what to look for and you know when the time is to pull the trigger to bring someone in. Yeah. I think that's probably the next step for me in my business as well. That's something that I'm need to do within the next few months in order to grow.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd love to hear your advice around that.
So I think it's different. You get to a period and you're hiring 1 or 2 blokes, and that's just a smaller team. And then once you go past that 1 or 2 blokes, for me and Steve, my construction manager, it's assessing how we can fulfill the current workload. I'm still somewhat of a yes man, you know, I know what we're capable of and I really want to help these clients, but I don't want to be in a position where somebody will come to me and say, hey, I've got to say to these people, you've got to wait a year for us to do that build. So then once we get to a stage and we're doing our 3 monthly forecast, our 6 monthly forecast, and at that 6 months, if I can't fit another job in, I'm looking for that other person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not, and then we've got to assess, is it an apprentice? Is it a carpenter? Is it another site foreman? Yeah, that's where we've got to assess it. But scaling on general, you've just got to think that forecasted work, the amount of the forecasted work coming in, and can you cover another person?
Very simple, but very good advice. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, well said. Leadership. It's a topic I really wanted to talk about and hone in on this episode today, because I feel like you're a very good leader. And I just love to hear your thought process behind that, because I think what you're building building at JedaBuild is really special. And I saw that at one of our shoots we did recently with the team. Just the energy from all the boys there, and just how they all spoke about you and the business is special. And I think that comes down to leadership. So what does leadership look like and mean to you?
Leadership to me, it doesn't look like wielding a really large stick. You know, it looks like mentoring these younger boys, sitting them down, you know, like we talk about it, mental health and that. Everyone's going through some kind of struggle. And it's for me to reach these guys on a personal level, that they're not turning up to work every day, hating me, hating their job. It's leading these boys that may or may not have father figures in their lives, but I'm just honing all of those skills and not just, oh, you stuff this up, you know, you need to do this better. You're 10 minutes late, right? They know they're late, yeah, or they know that they've stuffed that up. But how does the next time that we come to this, how is it better? So leadership to me looks like taking the reins, taking soft reins. Like there's times that I get very upset with the boys. Over the years, I've learnt that I tame it right down, and I sit down like this with them, and we'll talk it out. It's about connecting on that personal level, and they, the employee, wanting to strive better. I've had employees that don't want to strive better, you know, and then you don't suit my style of leadership.
Does that become draining for you?
At times, you know, like there's certain periods of everyone's life that life becomes tough. But my style of leadership, I'm there, you know, I'm in the trenches with them. Yeah, giving them my best advice.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's powerful. That's really, really, really powerful. And I think, like I said earlier, it just shows in your business and what you're building. So it's credit to you. Yeah.
That is the JedaBuild mission statement, is to create an environment where young men thrive and create powerful relationships within the company and with our clients.
Why are you so passionate about that? Like, what draws you? It's a great mission statement too. I'm not challenging your thing. I just want to dive deeper into why, you know.
It's all from that boss, man. Like, I would wake up every day as a young fella. You know, we've all been through puberty, and it's a tough time, man. You're finding yourself, right? I never, ever want to wake up. I never, ever want to have the thought of one of my boys waking up and not wanting to come to work. You know, not wanting to be there and not being happy within themselves because of some action that I might have taken.
Very, 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 very powerful. Yeah.
In this life, you can either be spiritual or not spiritual. You know, I'm very spiritual.
Yeah, no, I see that. What is like, paint the picture for me, what makes like a good leader in your view, you know, like how can you lead? Because I feel like I feel like you're like, some people are obviously naturally, they've just got it.
Yeah, like Dylan. I don't know if you met Dylan. He's a very naturally powerful leader. Yeah,
and then other people, they don't have it or they grow into it. So what does that look like?
For me, a good leader is like, we've got to take from our mothers and have a nurturing side. Yeah, especially in this life where you've got so many outside influences, that if you are just constantly battering somebody down, why are they ever going to come up? Yeah. To me, I want to lead you. I want to teach you everything that I've learnt the hard way, in a nurturing way. So hopefully you stay up.
Yeah, I like that. Pardon me, sorry. What's your biggest lesson through the hiring and like managing people process?
Don't hire anyone because you're busy. You know, like you've got to, the way I hire now is that I'll just meet up for a coffee.
Yeah.
I will chat through not just your experience, but I'll chat through like your values in life, and do they align with my values? Yeah. You might be the best site foreman in Newcastle, but your values don't align with mine. Why would I want to hire somebody that isn't on the same wavelength as me? Yeah, I love that. It's like you're not matching my frequency. You're not. Yeah.
It's very, that's kind of how I feel like I kind of like attract people, I guess, and do business with. Like if I don't feel like I'm at a blessed stage now where I don't normally have to say yes to, or I was talking to you about this the other day, like I still have that, like that mindset of that hustler mindset of a year ago where I was like on the come up and I had to like get, like, I just thought I needed as much work as possible, you know, and I needed that. But now I'm like, no, like I don't need like all that. So if you don't like align with me, like if I feel like they don't, like there's something there that doesn't click, like I feel like I'm starting to draw myself away from that.
100%.
And I think you just know, like there's something there in your gut, your intuition, whatever, where you just go, no, I'm not going to form a relationship with them. I'm not going to do business with them. I'm not going to hang around them. So literally it goes in all aspects of life. It's not just business, it's partnership. Like if you're with a girl or a guy, you know, and that doesn't match, or if it's your mates, you know.
So important.
I'm like very careful with who I hang around with nowadays. And I was out for breakfast this morning with one of my good mates, my close mates, and I said to him, like, what we have, like our circle of like our friend circle is so tight and just so good, and people would pay like to have that, because we're all just supportive of each other and we've got each other's back. And I think that's just so good, and that comes down to that feeling, that frequency, that intuition you said. I think. Yeah,
if you don't align with a customer, there's no point, you know, because they'll be causing you stress. They might not be paying you. You want every relationship in business to be good.
100%. And I just went on a tangent there, but I think it goes deeper too, like on everything. And you would agree with that too.
One thing for young fellas coming up, you know, like I see it a lot now. Like there's Tinder, I haven't been on a dating site in a couple of years, but there's so many now, and I feel like all these I feel like guys are just diving into relationships, and relationships are easy in the honeymoon stage. But if you want to come to work and be your best every day, you've got to have found the one, and you don't know that she's the one until you start testing that relationship. And I see it sometimes in my employees, you know, if they're struggling at home, if they're struggling with their partners, they are not turning up 100% to work.
It's very true.
young tradies, male and female, make sure he or she is the one.
I guess so. How do you know that if they're the one, you know, because you have to, like, in order to find that person, you've got to cast your net. You've got to go out there, put yourself out there to the world and find them, you know. You don't know the one until you've lived with them for a little while, until you've tested the relationship, until you're busy at work, you know, and a whole plethora of stuff. But I think that the saying is true: when you know, you know. And all the other tests, they just come hand in hand. You handle them together. If you're not handling any situation, pre-serious relationship stuff together, then she's not the one, or he's not the one. So true. How is your relationship with your wife?
Shout out, Maddie. Mate, incredible.
How has that like impacted you as a person, business owner, father, and leader?
Positively. I'm the number one breadwinner. My superstar wife just does everything for my 3.5, soon to be 4 beautiful boys. And we tackle everything together in this life. She lets me be me, and I let her be as much as she can, her with 3 kids hanging off her. Our values from everything, from, you know, the littlest thing to the largest thing, we align. And I could message her now and say, hey, I'm not going to be home till 10 o'clock. She'd say, no worries. Where I look at my mates, I look at my colleagues' relationships. Man, their missus would be off them if they said they're going to be home at 10 o'clock. I could message Maddie and say, I'm not coming home till Monday. And she'd be sweet with that. What was the question? How
has that impact, like, how's your relationship with Maddie impacted your life as a father, as a leader, as a business owner?
Like I said, positively. In business, I already had JedaBuild pre-meeting Maddie, and so she just lets me do me. Originally, when we had our first son, Maddie would do a few more things office-based with the business. And then now she does is pay the boys. You know, she just likes to hold on to that little thing so she can be proud of
of course
of the company.
Yeah.
Business-wise, doesn't really have a say, you know, like I'll go home. I love sitting down and showing her the reels that we create together so she can get some sense of what we're up to.
Yeah. I think my question was more like on a on a kind of deeper standpoint of like how has that relationship changed you as a person, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, and how you show up every day.
Yeah. When I met Maddie, I'd say I'm a bit of a hothead.
Yeah. So
Maddie has really taught me to calm down, especially my relationship with her father. It's really taught me how to calm down as a person. He tests me a lot. And then Maddie has just taught me to grow as a person. You know, I left Sydney, I moved to Newcastle for Maddie, and we've had kids together. I've become from just a bachelor to a father, and it's all just gone swimmingly.
Yeah.
And we're farmers together, you know, she's taught me about farming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very cool. That's very, very, very cool what you guys have got.
Thank you.
What's, you know, we talk a lot about mental health. Myself and you are very, very passionate about that topic. So I'd like to go, you know, into that below the surface. What's that look like and mean to you? And how do you probably talk about it or create a good ground for your company for the young lads to feel open about that conversation?
Mate, every day we just had another meeting this morning. We actually watched the Meet the Team video. Yeah. We all came in together. It was a bit of a laugh. It was a bit of a laugh. And again, like I just touch on it every time that we have a meeting. Is anyone struggling? You know, I don't want anyone hiding. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I get the boys one-on-one, we're chatting about whatever. I'm asking them, how's this in your life? How's that in your life? I've had employees cry, you know, and I'll cuddle them. I want to nurture them. Yeah. Mental health for me, I'm in a high stress job.
Yeah.
Mental health for me personally, and I don't want to say this broadly, like listening to the last podcast with Nerida certainly taught me a lot. But mental health to me is also physical health, is what I'm eating, you know, and the way that I show up to mental health is I eat right, I train, I get up at 3:15 every morning to go to the gym, and I feel like if I let myself go the other way, I ate bad food, I didn't train, I didn't have a positive outlook, that I'll really be down in those trenches.
Yeah.
And there's days that I'm in there. You know, like nothing is going right. Yeah. But for me, it's just trying to see, man, you got 3 beautiful kids. You know, you've got this to look forward to. And I just don't want to let myself slip into that negative thoughts, consistent negative thoughts. Like we all have occasional negative thoughts. And I don't want to let myself slip into that every day I wake up.
Yeah.
You know, you see people like their whole day is negative from the second they get out of bed. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mental health scares me.
Really?
10 years ago, like where mental health wasn't so prevalent. We weren't hearing like I've had tradies that I've known, man, rest in peace, kill themselves, right?
Yeah.
This didn't happen 10, 15, 20 years ago or nowhere near as much. And that's why I'm so passionate about let's talk about it. You know?
Sure.
Let's get systems that these guys know that, hey, I'm struggling. One of my workers could message me in the morning, hey, I'm struggling mentally today. I'll drive to the house, you know, have the day off.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I messaged that to my boss when I was an apprentice, it was really funny actually. I was standing talking out the front to a client and this painter drove past and he was screaming, get the F to work. And we heard it.
You can swear. Like,
yeah.
You can swear.
Get the fuck to work. And I had a laugh and I was thinking, man, I would never do that. You know, never. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's some powerful dialogue you said in there. And I think the biggest thing is to just create, especially the people you interact with daily or frequently, you want to be able to create that environment for their guard to be let down. I think especially as a young male, I think there's a lot of young.
Man, what about that statistic? You know, it's the leading cause in men under 40.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. That's why I'm like I'm passionate about it because obviously I've been in the trenches. I've gone through a lot of shit. But yeah, just
look at you now, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm still got a lot to work on and learn, but that's part of growing. But yeah, man, it's just so like if a conversation like this can help someone talk about their struggles, that's like the best thing ever. Because I remember I hid my struggles personally for years. No one knew, and that was just like such a burden. And then as soon as I spoke out about it, holy shit, it was like 30 kilos off my chest and I was so much lighter. Yeah,
you can see me in a cafe, man. If you're struggling, you don't even know me. Reach out, eh?
Yeah, so I like that piece of advice. Speaking about advice, what's the worst piece of business advice you probably ever received from somebody?
Worst piece of business advice I've ever received from anybody.
And then we'll do your best.
My worst piece of advice that I've ever had from anybody was one of my old bosses saying to me that I should take on any job regardless of the profit margin.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because at that stage in my life, I wanted every job. You know, and your time is so valuable. You don't want to do a $20,000 job and have $10 left or go backwards. Yeah? He just said, nah, you're young. You just got to take on every job you can. Don't
know your worth.
Stop, pause, know your worth.
What's your best piece of business advice you received from someone?
I always say it to you, take your emotion out of business. Yeah? You and I, we're both such emotional people. I still struggle with it now, you know. I take some notes on myself weekly, monthly, and just put it in my notes. And I'm still writing that every week, Take your emotion out of business. But it's hard for you and I, right? Because I feel like I put all of my emotion into business. Yeah. But then, no worries, we'll fix that for free when really somebody should be paying me to fix that. That is my emotion. Like I don't want the other person to have a negative emotion. I want it to always be positive. By far the best advice. Take your emotion out of business. Emotion is for your family and your close ones.
Such good advice,
man. And my employees, right?
Yeah. No, that's great advice. I want to talk about you've mentioned on this podcast that you're a yes man.
Yes man.
And I think this is a great leeway into that because you've just spoken about how emotional you get, or like you feel like you owe something to people and that kind of thing. Where does that stem from for you?
I think I was born with it. You know? Yeah. I wake up every day and I'll go to a quote, or I'll go to a site meeting, or I'll, go anywhere, and I want to help everyone. I think that's where it stems from, is that I want to be these people's builder. I came to Newcastle, man, and there is some serious cowboys here. Serious cowboys. And I don't want those people to go down that road. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Newcastle, I feel like it's like 2-3 years behind Sydney in terms of a lot of things, right?
Man, I've been here 7 years.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. And I'm proud of all the tradies up here.
Yeah.
But when I came up, I had to learn the hard way. A lot of wearing cowboy hats rather than hard hats.
That's funny. What's one thing you would tell your younger self? Picture me your 18-year-old self in this seat that I'm sitting in right now. What would you say to him?
Show gratitude. We're born in Australia and I've been to third world countries and we don't know how lucky we have it. Yeah. Don't get caught up in this social media. Show gratitude, have patience, and accept change.
I like that. What do you reckon he would say to you?
He'd be proud, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 sons, leading my sons the exact way that I want. When I wake up in the morning, I look at myself. I am the man that I want to be. So I think he'd say he's proud.
That's so powerful, bro. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What holds you back?
In terms of?
Could be mentally, could be spiritually, could just be anything that just you feel that holds you back.
Except for money, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think capital for a lot of people in business is a big thing.
Mate, if I had all the money in the world, I wouldn't be doing business. I'd just be on a farm with my kids. In business, what holds me back is finding the right people. Yeah. In life, what holds me back is that patience and not being such a hothead, you know, like I'm still saving grace, showing face when I could just let it go. And that wouldn't hold me back. Yeah. What is holding me back? I don't really know. When I look at myself, I do, you know, do you look at yourself in the mirror from time to time?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Do you look yourself in the eye?
Yeah.
So when I look at myself in the eye, nothing holds me back. I get up, I get what I need done in the day, and I go to bed.
I like that answer. Yeah, very well said. This next question I ask on every episode, and it's always got a different response. What does success mean and look like to you?
Does your watch work?
You just noticed. Bro,
I was thinking like, man, how long were you doing this for?
You've just exposed me, man.
Thanks, Colbs.
I need to get a...
He's got a fake Rolex on, guys.
Yeah, it's from Bali. Yeah. I need to get one of those, what are they called? Like the watch like twist things that actually... Because I don't wear it often.
Yep.
Because it is a... Yeah. Anyway.
Just don't wear an Apple Watch.
No, I don't.
Keep that EMF away from yourself.
Yeah. But anyway, what does success mean and look like to you?
Success, obviously financial freedom, but success to me right now is raising my children the correct way. Yeah, we are. Oh, this is probably going to dive into what's my why though. But success to me is raising sons that I can be proud of.
What does that look like?
Raising gentlemen. You know, chivalry is dead. In 2024, chivalry is dead because we get all of our dopamine hits from Instagram and we don't need that outside gratification. Yeah. Raising men that shake your hand and look you in the eye, saying please and thank you. And from stemming away from phones and screens, raising boys that still still know how to be boys. Yeah. Yeah, I'm lucky enough to live on a farm that my children get to experience all of this. But to me, raising children that I'm proud of is total fulfillment, total success.
Yeah, I love that answer.
And being able to provide them an upbringing that I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Great answer. You in one word.
Oof. I didn't plan for this one. Me in one word. Outgoing. Yeah, I'm very outgoing. Do anything for anyone. Yeah, I'll see you if you're not smiling. I'll ask if you're all right. Yeah, that relates. Outgoing and
100%. Yeah, elaborate more for me. Where do you reckon that stems from?
I've always been a people person. You know, I love that connection.
Yeah.
I would do anything for anyone. All of my work boys, they know that. My wife, she knows that. Yeah, all my close friends. I want everyone around me to feel happy. You know, I hate, and I sadly think that we see it far too much now. You know, you go to the shops and how many people look happy? Yeah. I feel like sometimes people get angry just for trying to get a banana off the shelf and it's slightly in their way and you've got to kind of... Sorry, I'm just trying to get this. Yeah. It's like, how dare you reach across and get that banana? Come in my personal space.
Yeah.
I want every interaction that I have with anybody to be positive and we leave that feeling happy. That's outgoing, happy man.
Yeah, full stop. This is the What's Your Why podcast.
Yep.
What's your why?
Yeah, like I said previously, it's probably not just my own sons, but in business, I feel that I am a father figure to everyone that I have within my company. And my why is providing these guys with the right advice, the right nurturing to excel. Mate, 100% is my kids, yeah? when I really think about it, I feel, well, I don't want to be too outspoken here, but I feel that this generation and the way that people are raising their kids is so backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't comment because I'm in no position to even, bro, I'm in no position. But when
you look around and you look at children now, what do you see?
Of course. Yeah. You see an iPad in their hand and that's, in my opinion, and I just think they're exposed to a lot of things that, kids probably at that age shouldn't be exposed to. I mean, I'm no doctor or psychologist, but I agree with you.
No, they shouldn't. You don't need to be a doctor to see this. I'm a builder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, you're 100% true.
Yeah, they need to be outside. They need to be getting dirty. They need to understand what life is about.
Yeah. They need that human connection, right?
That human connection. Every child is so indoctrinated from the day they're born now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is sad.
My what's your why is to stand up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah? To raise kids like we're back in the 1940s. But in 2024, like my children get to watch TV, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I didn't have kids to send them to school every day, be raised by somebody else or a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't spend anywhere near as much time with my children as I like. And that's some of my goals for 2025 is to be able to spend some more time with my boys.
Yeah.
To raise my boys, to put all of the advice that I have into these children. But it's also, man, what are we feeding our kids? What do we actually feed our children these days? Processed food, milk with no nutrients in it, I wear a tinfoil hat, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's reflecting off the lights, bro. No, you're right. I'm open, and I think there's still a lot of people out there that are probably blinded to this conversation.
Yep.
But you just look at what RFK, Robert F. Kennedy's doing now that he's in with Trump.
Power.
Whether you like Trump or not, let's get off the political bandwagon. He's fixing their health system over there, and I think power to that because, American food is some of the worst food ever.
Yeah.
And he's when they're in office next year, they're gonna clean that all up, fix the tap water, which apparently is heaps bad. So yeah, no, I'm pretty interested. It's an interesting topic. Yeah, definitely.
I haven't drunk tap water since COVID came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
Look at me, man. I've got 3.5 kids, I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take my health very seriously.
Yeah.
And that leads into your mental health.
100%.
Yeah. I would much rather not eat than eat McDonald's or KFC. And we as Australians, we raise our children, the pub, alcohol, KFC, Macca's. It's incredible. Yeah. Don't vaccinate your children.
Oof.
Come at me, we'll have a debate. Fuck. Honestly, yeah. I know that I live on a farm, but compare my children to the average Australian children now. I want to have like an Olympics in a few years. Yeah.
You're creating super soldier kids.
Not even. I'm creating organic children.
Yeah.
What children should be. And I'm so passionate about it, but I'm not going to be in your house pushing this on you.
Yeah.
You live your life the way you want to live it. If you want to learn about it, talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to end that because there's some I feel like with that kind of stuff, for me, man, you can say whatever, and I'm I'm open, I am open to anything, and those type of conversations interest me because I want to learn more, and 100%. I want to learn more why you think that, or I want to learn more about why someone else thinks differently. You know, obviously. A large part is a byproduct of what you've been raised and your environment.
100%.
I think it's great to shed light on that stuff because it's very necessary, and I think there's a lot more. I feel like spotlight around the food we eat, what we're putting into our bodies.
When you go into a service station now, what would you actually eat that's nutritional from there?
I don't eat from a service station.
You may as well go to a candy store. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's what every morning I'm at the server, I might get a nice coffee,
Yeah.
It's like my one deadly sin. But there's all these young tradies walking out with a 4-pack of Monster or Red Bull, that does nothing for you.
Yeah, definitely.
My what's your why is to create critical thinking children. non-indoctrinated children.
I like that. That's great. That's so good.
Yeah.
Right. We have a closing tradition on this podcast where the last guest asks the current guest a question. So I've sourced this question from our last guests, and it reads, what have you learnt about yourself in the past year that has had a negative impact on your professional life that you are committed to changing in 2025? Now, I'll let you process that. This episode's been recorded in December of 2024. It will be released in January 2025. So we have started the new year technically when you're listening to this. So yeah, what's one thing that you learnt in 2024 that had a negative impact on you that you are committed to changing this year in 2025?
Colbs, it all stems back to that advice I always give you. Do not let my emotions get in business in 2025. I'm gonna make that mental stance that business is business and emotions have got to stay outside of that. I don't just mean just being an asshole, but I mean letting it emotionally affect me.
Yeah.
Business. I want to be the man that I want to be. I want to be happy, you know. There's times that I come home and I'm so upset about the day or what's happened because I'm a tradie, right? Humans make errors. Yeah. I don't want to bring that back to my family. I want to come, well, not that I, you know, maybe once every 2 weeks I'll bring that home, and I hate that, you know. I just want to come home and be the superhuman dad that my kids think I am.
I like that answer, and what a great way to end the podcast, our first one for the new year.
Happy New Year.
I just want to quick, before we finish off, I just want to give the floor to you and just say, if you want to say a few words about where people can find you, your business. Maybe there's someone out there looking for a renovation or something. Where can they find you? How can you help them?
First of all, I'd like to say I hope that wasn't too controversial. I'm a positive guy, you know, like, and if you need some, or if that might have expanded your thinking and you want to have a chat, let's have a chat. Jedabuild, you'll find us on social media. This incredible human does all of our videos, reels, and a few photos now. You know, you sent me like 100 the other day. I've got to go through, just find the one that I look the best in and post that. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, a website. If you're looking to renovate and you want a builder that is a critical thinker and that will listen to your ideas, we've got a wonderful team behind me now, dedicated construction manager, and just all positive. Like, the feedback from our clients is just that they love having the positive young crew in their house. Yeah, we're clean, we're tidy.
That energy is contagious. That's people are drawn to that, definitely. Is there anything else, man? I think that's a pretty good sales pitch. Shout out to all the Jedabuild boys. Yeah. Easy. Well, thank you.
No. What I wanted to say was, remember, how do we meet?
Literally like a phone call.
No, I won your conversation, didn't I? I won your conversation. I won your competition.
So September of 2023, I launched Cognition Media, my business, and to get traction around that, I knew I had to provide value, but also give. You know, that's how you get traction. So I ran a giveaway where you basically tagged or whatever, the standard giveaway stuff, and I do a free shoot.
What is that free shoot?
We still haven't done it.
No. So I want to know from you, what do I get for winning this competition? Because you signed me up, but we haven't got anything back, Colbs.
Bro, you know,
10 Cognition Media shirts, all right?
10, yeah.
One for each of the boys.
I'll put in an order.
No, at least one for me.
Yeah, no, I will. Early next year, I'm gonna do some shirts for everybody. So, I just want to clarify though, I was very adamant on the free.
I'd already signed you up. I saw your stuff. I'm just taking the piss.
I was like, no, I needed to give you the free shoot because But that's how we met. I came to your farm and we spoke about your goals and what you wanted to achieve and stuff like that.
We're smashing them.
Yeah.
I'm just about to post 12 days of Christmas. We got way more than 12 videos to post.
Yeah. No, we're smashing it out with the content, and I think. I think what we've nearly worked together for a year. I'm very proud of the brand we're building.
It's Jedabuilds 10 years next year.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So, and I'm keen to go into or start the year off strong in 2025 and keep scaling that forward. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for listening to our first episode of 2025. Going to be a big year, so I'm really, really excited to keep honing in and scaling. And I really just want to say I appreciate everybody for listening, watching, giving your time, you know, to listen to me and the beautiful guests that I get on here. No, but truly, it means the absolute world to me. And yeah, there's some exciting things planned for 2025, so just stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.